Good morning, Mount of Praise. Today's devotion is focused on the command to give. I will look at the why, who, what, and how of giving. In other words, why should we give? Who should we give to? What should we give? And how should we give? There is a quote that says, "You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving." I will repeat this, as it also took me a minute for it to sink in. You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. This quote by Robert Louis Stevenson suggests to me that people give for different reasons. Out of a sense of obligation, to be recognized by others, or even because everyone else is doing it. However, the reason or the foundation of our giving should always be love. If love is the reason, then giving comes naturally. It isn't forced or fake. This thought is confirmed by one of the most well-known verses in the Bible, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave. God's love for mankind was the reason for the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, so that we all could have eternal life. This answers the question, why should we give? We give because of love. God's love within us. In 1 John 3, verses 16 to 18, we are told, "By this we know love, because he laid down his life for us. And we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoever has this world's goods and sees his brother in need and shuts up his heart from him, how does the love of God abide in him?" Let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. So we see here, as we have heard so many times, that love is an action word, not just something that we say. One of the tangible ways of demonstrating God's love within us is by giving. Secondly, who should we give to? In our focus verse today, we see that God gave the most sacrificial gift to benefit whosoever believeth. Similarly, in Galatians 6 verse 10, we are admonished as we have opportunity to do good to all men, especially unto those who are of the household of faith. The focus on all men in this verse is not a numerical challenge in terms of trying to be all things to all people. Instead, I see it as a challenge of inclusiveness in terms of reaching out to people who may not be in our circle or who may literally be strangers, and seeing them through the eyes of God. For not only these persons may be most in need, but they may be where our biggest blessings lie. In Matthew 25, we read that when the Son of Man comes, he will say to those on his right hand, "I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." When the righteous asked, "Lord, when did we do all these things?" he answered, "Inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." What should we give? We all know that these are challenging times for everyone, and we may be tempted to ask ourselves, what can I give? For I am in need as well. As much as this may be true, we are reminded in Mark 12 about the widow's mite. In that passage, Jesus said that the widow cast more into the treasury, because whereas everyone else cast in of their abundance, she cast in all that she had. This suggests to me that at some point our giving should be sacrificial. Although when we are thinking of giving, we automatically think of money and other tangible gifts, sometimes the most selfless, priceless sacrifices we can make is by giving ourselves, our time. So yes, financial giving is needed, but let us also look for opportunities to give the intangible as well. A helping hand, a listening ear, our time and our talents. Finally, how should we give? This brings to mind a pet peeve of mine. The way everyone posts everything on social media on a daily basis, even down to their meals. This has also spilled over to even acts of kindness which are broadcasted for all to see. Matthew 6 verse 1 says, "Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise you have no reward from your Father in heaven." As we give, may we do so humbly, and do not belittle or humiliate those we are helping by unnecessarily publicizing what we have done for the praise of men. But may we not let our left hand know what our right hand is doing. Today, I would like to challenge each of us to go out of your way to give to at least one person today. First, make sure it is coming from a place of love. Secondly, be intentional about it. Think of someone genuinely in need. It may be a close family member or a friend that you have not connected with in a long time, or it may be a complete stranger. Reflect on what the person needs most. Remember, it may not always be a financial need, although it just may be as well. But it could just be some of your time to lend a listening ear. Finally, be discreet about what you have done. Do have a blessed day.